Hello, and welcome to A Word of Hope for this memorial of St. Scholastica. I'm Brother Joe Trout, coming to you from the Fenwick High School Chapel. And I love that every year on this feast, we get to read the story of the last conversation between St. Benedict and St. Scholastica, brother and sister. And in it, St. Benedict has gone to visit his sister, and it's about to be night. And the rule that St. Benedict wrote for all of his monks was that they could not stay out of the monastery overnight. So he's trying to say goodbye to his sister, who doesn't want him to go. She's nearing the end of her life, which he doesn't know, but she wants him to stay and to continue the holy conversation that they're having. He says, nope, sorry, I have to go. And so what does she do? She prays, and God sends a storm, and he can't leave. And Benedict's response is not, oh, thank goodness, I can stay now. I don't have to worry about that rule anymore. It's, what have you done? Right? He doesn't immediately see this as good, though they do spend the night in holy conversation, as the story goes. What are we to make out of this? Well, I think it's important to note that human wisdom and divine wisdom are not identical. That we ought to seek human wisdom. We should try to do what's good and to think and to make reasonable good choices on how to live well. But here we have two saints who went different directions. Right? And what was God doing? Well, there's a divine wisdom at play here, that the Spirit of God leads us in ways that we don't always understand, that we can't always make sense out of. That this is what the gifts of the Holy Spirit are all about. That we are not ever going to see totally with the eyes of God. That faith brings us into seeing the world as God sees, but we don't see all of totality. We don't see the interwoven nature of providence. And so there are times at which what God is drawing us towards will not immediately look like the right choice to us. Right? Now, it's not going to be something evil, but here we have, for Benedict, something that isn't what he thought would have been the right option. And yet, it's where God steers him to be with his sister, to see her and spend this last night with her, and she dies shortly after. And so this is why we need to pray for the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and to take time in our lives to step back and to not just always immediately do what we think is right, but to say, God, is there something I'm missing? Give me your Spirit to go where you need me. Let the Spirit of God blow through our lives to lead us into the world to be the hands and feet of Christ, which we're not always going to know how to do. Faith doesn't promise us that kind of assurance. In fact, that's often the challenge of it, that very often in life we simply do not know how to be the hands and feet of Christ. And yet God provides. God does send the storm to help guide us to where he needs us to be. So consider today the pursuit of human wisdom, of understanding the wisdom in the Old Testament, the wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and the wisdom of not knowing it all sometimes, and letting the Spirit of God blow us where he will. Thank you, and God bless.